We're taking back ownership over our own wellness and redefining what is useful. My name is Teresa Keto Dickerson, and I'm on a mission to change the conversation around the standard of acceptable. We're disrupting the way products are consumed and the ideas that we are in charge of our own wellness. Through connecting to community and professionals, we're clearing the path to live organically. This is an organic journey. Business is CBD.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so is this a home-based business, or so what exactly do you do with it?
So I started my business at the end of 2019, and my business is to educate people on CBD. And I do this via CBD home parties, kind of like Tupperware Avon lady. I come over, except I bring CBD.
Right.
And I educate on it, from what it is, how to use it, what to use it for, and to how to find your dosaging. Because, nowadays we see CBD everywhere, but it doesn't mean all people. And not everyone knows how to use plant healing. We're so conditioned as a society to just pop a pill and believe that it takes care of everything. Meanwhile, that's only masking the problem. And you'll have probably a long list of side effects, right? And
like your eyes are going to fall out, but your leg should be fine. Wait, what?
Exactly. It's like
my leg.
Yeah. So then after the education portion, all the guests are welcome to sample the products. And this helps people find the right product for themselves, because people are so particular on taste. I find that a lot of people buy a tincture and they go home, try it, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is not at all what I thought it tastes like. And they end up not using it because they didn't like the taste. So through tasting and sampling, even topicals, people are very sensitive to scent as well as texture. Yes. So by trying out the products, I helped out find out what products would be a fit for them in terms of preference and their needs, what they're trying to address.
Right. Okay. So is this something that you start on your own, or are you an affiliate with another business?
On my own. And, I research the brands myself, the ones that I carry. I now have a website. Well, since the pandemic, I've now pivoted to doing one-on-one virtual consultations. I walk them through with a list of questions like, do you mind a hemp taste, or do you mind microdosing, to try to figure out what would be a good fit for them.
Right. So let's start with that, because I really want people to understand what is CBD? Yeah. Let's pretend like I don't know. Right. Like, what is CBD? Like, what is it? Let's start there.
So CBD is a cannabinoid that can be found on the hemp plant. And there is about 110 cannabinoids so far out there that doctors have found. The two most famous cannabinoids are THC, the one that is known to get you euphorically high, and CBD, that does not get you euphorically high, but still has many healing properties.
Okay, so everybody knows about THC. I doubt we have to do an educational segment on that. But so the medical properties that doctors have been able to find when it comes to CBD, what are the main benefits that they're starting to find? Or actually, let me back up. When did they start to realize, from a commercial standpoint, because I'm pretty sure somebody knew this beforehand, but when did they start to realize this from a commercial standpoint, that there really are some healing benefits that could be sort of like not mass produced in a way, but given, like, sent out to the masses?
I believe that would be in the 1980s when they discovered the endocannabinoid system.
Okay.
So our all humans have an endocannabinoid system. In fact, all animals do. And I'll call it ECS for short. Our ECS's only job function is to bring your body back to balance. So let's say, so it regulates everything from motor activity to your memory, to your mood, your appetite, your sleep. So imagine when your ECS is not running efficiently, it's not able to regulate your body functions, such as If your ECS is not running and it cannot regulate your blood glucose levels, the person will have diabetes.
Okay.
Or for an example, let's say you're running and then you fall on your knee, your ECS sends signals to your CB1 and CB2 receptors to say, hey, let's stop the pain and also let's stop the bleeding.
Mm.
So, and because your endocannabinoid system is in charge of your whole body, that's how come CBD can help with anything from arthritis to autoimmune disease, Parkinson's, ALS, eczema, anxiety, depression.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it can help with so many things. So, sorry, let me also explain. So, when your ECS is running, it's using your own body's cannabinoids, endocannabinoids. So, those are our own body's natural producing cannabinoids. So, CBD is a phytocannabinoid, a plant based cannabinoid that mimics our own.
Oh.
And the reason why our ECS sometimes is deficient in cannabinoids is because sometimes when you're constantly stressed, what you're doing is you're sending those cannabinoids, the runners, running everywhere to say, okay, I'm stressed. Where am I supposed to go to heal myself?
Got it.
And back in the day, when we were stressed, our fight or flight syndrome would come up. And that was
Right.
a way to save ourselves. Like, oh, look, there's a bear. Let me run.
Right.
But
Right.
nowadays, with social media, modern technology, we're constantly on. And given the pandemic, we're now stressed 24/7. And
Right.
our body is not meant to be on that 24/7 stress cycle. And
Right.
when it does, you're taking your body's resources from protecting your immune system. And therefore, that's why when you take CBD, you're actually replenishing your body's depleted cannabinoids so your ECS can run efficiently and heal itself again.
Wow, that is really fascinating. And I only said because I had gotten some CBD pain relief, and like in my head, I knew it had that particular medicinal property. I had no idea how it actually worked. Thank you for that breakdown, because that actually makes so much more sense. So, with that being said, if we naturally have a cannabinoid
Cannabinoids.
system,
Mm-hmm.
and the CBD sort of mimics the animal cannabinoid system. It's basically the same process when we are sort of processing proteins or processing vitamins. It's the
It,
same like thing. We're doing Their body's just doing something with the plant or something that we're
right.
introducing. Okay.
It's emulating our own natural producing cannabinoids so that our ECS can run efficiently.
Run efficiently. All right.
Yeah.
So
So
when you talk about, so let's talk about how part of your education process is to introduce people to this concept. What other concepts do you introduce to people, like from a high level? Like, is it about like what types of um, health benefits?
after I go over the ECS, I then go over what to look for when buying your own CBD products,
Mhm.
and then also cover different ways of ingesting CBD. And lastly, I cover dosaging because it's important for people to know how much to take.
Okay, so give me a couple things that people should look for when looking for a CBD product then.
Okay. Definitely look for their COA, their certificate of analysis.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the COA, it'll tell you one if there's any heavy toxins in there or if it
Mm-hmm.
passed. Because hemp is a huge bioaccumulator, like spinach and kale, it will soak up all the toxins in the soil. It is so potent as a bioaccumulator that they planted it at Chernobyl to clean up the soil. So you definitely do not want any toxic anything in your CBD oil. That can be mold, pesticide, fungicide, and mold, and heavy metals.
And heavy metals.
Yes. So if you have a compromised immune system, you definitely do not want to be
Just want to
taking
be.
those.
Oh, that's a really good point because I know a lot of people are just CBD, but if they're not paying attention to that COA, they could
Yeah.
be making their symptoms worse. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
So what? So that's sort of the things to look for. What? And you say the next thing you start talking about is different ways to ingest. What
Mhm.
other than so you've got topical and you've got ingestion obviously, which is through
Mhm.
the oral.
Right.
What are the differences between the oral and the topical?
Oral, which can be sublinguals, it's CBD suspended in MCT oil, and you put that underneath your tongue for 60 seconds so that it goes through your bloodstream. And once that happens, you'll feel the effects in about 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll last for about 4 hours. So, however, that's very different from taking a capsule or a gummy.
Mm-hmm.
Those will take 30 to 60 minutes to activate, but can last from 4 to 6, even 8 hours, depending on some people.
Oh, okay.
And yes, so those go into your bloodstream. Edibles go through your liver first, which is called first pass, which is why it
Mm-hmm.
takes longer to activate.
Mm-hmm.
And sublinguals do not go through your liver. So because it's going through your bloodstream, that's why you feel it quicker. In terms of topicals, topicals do not go into your bloodstream. So topicals are great for eczema,
Mm-hmm.
pain, arthritis pain, joint pain, muscle aches, muscle tension. It's great for that. And because it doesn't go into your bloodstream, that you can apply as much as needed.
Okay. Okay. So glad you brought that up because my next question was going to be about dosaging. So when you are going directly to your bloodstream and when you are even when you're swallowing it and even if it does the first pass, you still don't want to like overdo it, right?
Right.
Because you
Mm-hmm.
still are introducing something foreign to your system and you don't want to outdo any like you're trying to balance it. You don't want to go the other direction.
Right.
So is it
Uh,
by body weight? How does that work?
for general wellness, it's about, and anxiety falls under that, mild
Right.
anxiety, is about 1 milligram per 10 pounds.
Okay.
So if I weigh about 125, I take about 12 milligrams.
Okay.
But when you're starting off for about 2 days, I would say take half your dosage.
Half the dosage.
Yeah, go slow, start low and go slow. Let your body kind of get used to it. And and then in 2 days, if you're continuing with that half dose and you don't feel anything, then move up to your full dosage. And it helps to, it's not THC where you're going to feel a high. So it's
Right.
very hard to know when CBD is working. And the best way to know that it's working, I tell people to create a list and write on it every symptom you're trying to address.
Mm,
So for me, it was my anxiety, right? Stress, and then rate it from 1 to 10, 10 being extremely worse, bad. And then, for example, I used to have a really bad knot behind my shoulder blade and like neck.
mhm.
So that was like at an 8. Also, maybe I'm irritated and, my patience is low. Just write everything, anything down that you're
Mhm.
feeling and you want to address with it. And then take your dosage and in an hour, go back to your list and look at everything that you listed and rate how it is. See if there's
Okay.
any relief from it. And then if there is no relief, you know that you didn't find your dosage. And tomorrow you can dosage a little more. And if you did, at least now you know, okay, I'm feeling something
That's how
in
you
this
get.
dosage. Yeah.
Okay.
And CBD, the way I think of it is how should I feel?
Right.
It's more about the absence of the negative symptoms that I feel.
Right.
So not feeling irritated anymore, not feeling stressed, not feeling impatient, and because all those are gone, those negative symptoms, I'm actually able to focus better and be more productive.
Right.
And I can, with my kids, I'm able to respond instead of react, which is super,
So important.
yeah, so important. And, I remember when I first started and I saw the change in myself, I was like, wow, I handled that like really good. I
Like
was
I'm a
so proud of
champ.
myself. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I was like, wow. And after that, and then when you see that, you're like, wow, why is this, plant not everywhere? And the information really for everyone to know.
Right.
And, that's what made me feel like, wow, I have to let people know about this because moms are always stressed. They're
Yeah.
always putting themselves last.
Yep.
They're always doing a million things, right?
Right.
And this is like the best self-care gift anyone can give themselves, I
It's
feel,
just,
in my opinion.
I mean, anytime you can give yourself peace of mind,
Right.
like, is amazing. And you're right, being a mom and you have like young kids, and I remember very distinctly just how like over quickly overwhelmed you can get just because you care so much, right? Like, and so there's just so much stuff happening, and God forbid, little junior, like, stubs his toe, and you're just like, oh my God, what did I do? You know what I'm saying? So to be able to function
Exactly. I
is
mean,
a gift.
especially now with the pandemic, I'm working, you're being pulled in a million directions.
Yeah.
You hear mommy, 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 and you just want to like pull your hair out,
Yeah.
and you can't.
Right. Right. Because there's nowhere to go.
And I know that, we have to also sleep well and
Yes.
meditate and exercise and, eat healthy. And right now, I don't have time to do about three of those things. So
Right.
for me, CBD is like my form of self care that I can use to help manage my anxiety and postpartum depression, which is
Right.
not just depression now, but,
Right. I know,
our
right?
mental health
Somehow
as
it
well.
manifested. Yeah, I get it. I'm like, I just had a baby. They're like, when? I'm like, 18 years ago? Does that count? I
Exactly.
mean, it's still there. Yeah. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So I find that you're right. Like, why? I think, and like with the whole debate, and I think people just sort of got confused with this image of like, oh, somebody wants to get high, with like really forgetting that usually these plants have real purposes that are usable on like a daily basis. So, the conversations around CBD, and I'm glad you're doing this because um in general, what the purpose of this podcast is for is to sort of introduce people to different ways of looking at wellness and finding what fits for them, right? Like my saying or slogan is, owning your own wellness, because no one's going to care more about you than you.
That's
So
true.
if being introduced and changing this conversation around what CBD is and how it's helpful and how people can apply it to their strategy for wellness, right? Like, because we're all different, all of our bodies are different, all of our environments are different, all of our scenarios are different. Building a strategy is going to incorporate many things. So with that being said, and I like how you said, like, it's just, I can't go out, especially COVID. It's not like you have time to go to the gym for 3 hours. Like,
Right.
not like anybody had that kind of time that has, kids running around, but, so you had to sort of balance, right? Like, so what other strategies um, have you been able to incorporate for yourself to sort of like rebalance like those things that we can't do right now, right? Or even for a person who now finds themselves sick and stuck or like bedridden, or they can't go out and they now have to readjust their wellness. Like, what what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember the word, but like, what would you say to that?
I start off my morning with that morning ritual. So
Hmm.
I know, okay, you know what? I'm starting my day off on the right foot.
Hmm.
And the CBD helps me ground it. So at least that way I'm ready for whatever comes.
Right.
And then at nighttime, after I'm done showering, I come out, I put on a CBD balm to just
Hmm.
melt the tension and the muscle aches away. And so I can unwind, have a good sleep, and get ready for the next day, the
Right.
next Groundhog Day.
Right. Okay. Because it does look very similar now. Like
It does.
I,
It
I
does.
feel like I've really gotten acquainted with my bedroom and my office, and I'm just like, what? Why am I so?
I know. I know.
Didn't I do this yesterday? So
Exactly.
what? So let's talk about some of the pitfalls people might fall into, um, if there are any pitfalls, regarding, maybe like not keeping up with a regimen, or like missing a dosage. Is there something that happens if you miss, or you just don't like get the effect?
You just don't get the effects.
Okay.
CBD is great and it works best when you're taking it daily. Remember, tinctures only last for 4 hours. So it's
Right.
most effective when you're microdosing, which
Okay.
means taking it in small amounts 3 to 4 times a day. So if
Okay.
you're using a tincture, it would be every 4 hours.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I took it to address my anxiety and postpartum depression. But with that, indirectly, I felt my body become stronger. My immune system was stronger. I was getting sick less.
Mm,
When I used to have PMS, I would know because everything would come out from the
yeah.
migraines to the muscle aches and stomach cramps. They're all gone now. I don't know. I need a period tracker to know when my period is coming.
Oh wow. Oh, oh,
Yeah.
sign me up. That's all you had to tell me. So you
and
should have started with that.
and I used to always have pain in my knees from wearing too many high heels.
Yeah.
And now that is gone. So I was like, wow, it completely healed my insides. And
Right.
I used to have bad hormonal acne.
Hmm.
And it balanced my hormones. So that's gone too. So I was like, wow, this is great. It's whole body healing because
Right.
your ECS touches your whole body. So,
Right.
yeah.
Wow. That's, yeah. You really should have started with that part. That would have someone if someone had said that, I would have been like, sign me up. Got it. Yeah.
But I do want to go over side effects. Side effects are minimal, and in fact, I felt some today because I was down to the bottom of the bottle, and I thought, oh, there's so little, it wasn't coming up in the pipette.
Right.
So I just went like that, and it was definitely more than I thought.
Oh.
So after an hour, I was like, why do I feel so relaxed? Like, you know how when you feel like you're super relaxed, your
Yeah.
guards are down. I'm having a wonderful interactive conversation with my kids, super patient.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that was definitely more CBD than I thought I took.
Wow. I
And
feel like I'm really cool now.
right, exactly. So I would say side effects, you might be really tired from being super relaxed, and you might have a bowel movement. For some people, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
And
Did you
maybe,
say you'd be super hungry? Because I think you broke up a little bit. You said you'd be super hungry?
oh no, super relaxed. So you
Oh,
might be tired.
okay.
So especially if you're starting CBD for the first time, do not take it at night. I mean, take it at night.
Right.
That way, in case you get tired or lethargic, you're at home.
Yeah, you haven't like screwed your whole day over. Okay.
Right,
So
exactly.
would you say in that case, like say you're just starting and to get your body regulate, like to shock, to get it over that shock where it probably will knock you out or something,
Mm-hmm.
then you could start doing it in the morning.
Yes,
So you get the nice calming effects that you really need during
yes,
the day, but you don't want to shock your body into like passing out because it's just
exactly.
like,
Exactly.
okay.
That's why when we start about half your dosage
Mhm.
until you know how your body reacts. And then once you know your dosage, it's all about dosaging. So if I want it for the daytime to be super alert and focused, I just take a little bit less than my dosage. But if
Mm,
I want it for a really good sleep, and a lot of people right now are having a hard time falling asleep and staying asleep is
yeah.
too. So what you want to do is you could dosage a little over your dosage, so you'll be super relaxed.
Right. So you can get to sleep. That
Yeah.
makes sense because there's nothing turning us on and off now because we're home.
Right.
So we're just sort of like, yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
And when we don't get good sleep, your stress level
Is off the roof.
increases again. So
That makes sense. Well, so what we learned today is, what to look for, the different ways to get it ingest it, and like dosaging and what that means. We did talk a little bit about the side effects, and I guess I really want to give the users, I'm in IT, sorry. I really, I really want to give the audience, I'm going to edit that out. I really want to get the audience sort of a chance to understand what it is that you do. So what would you say, give me your elevator pitch. Like, what would you say to someone?
I am your CBD educator, and I walk you through the CBD basics so you can maximize your CBD results. And I will help you come up with a tailored regimen based on your needs and your preferences. And I do one-on-one free consultations. And afterwards, I can give you the recommended products and you can purchase it from my website.
Awesome. And then what in your website is, where can people find you?
They can find me at calmbetterdays.co.
.co. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
they can schedule a consultation right on the website.
Perfect. So thank you, Amy, for joining us today. And I hope the audience was able to find all of the information that Amy provided to us to be extremely helpful. And like I said, all she had to do was start with, you don't know when your period's coming because you're chill. So for me, that was the best part right there. So I hope that you guys, if you have any questions, please follow up with Amy. You can find her on your social media.
Which is calm_better_days.
And so calm_better_days, Facebook, Instagram,
and my website.
And the website.com. And ask questions, set up a consultation. And again, thank you so much for speaking with us today. And I really do appreciate you sharing